right, everyone. We're gonna make this as a discussion with Darius, where he's gonna share their experience of how it went on when they implemented their welding robot. So, Darius, do you want to start by presenting yourself and your company?
Yes, so Darius Fugate, like he said, I'm the field operations manager at Jake Marshall LLC in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're a mechanical contractor doing fabrication and install. Jake Marshall started in about 1930. We recently got acquired by Limbach Holdings, so we are a member of the Limbach family there. We normally work around 100 to 300 people, depending on what the workload is in our facilities. So our facilities consist of over 100,000 square foot of fabrication shops, from structural steel to sheet metal, through high purity, carbon steel, stainless steel, painting process too. We're a QP3 painting contractor. We do coatings on structural steel and piping going out to the job sites, as a lot of it is nowadays. And our philosophy is, quality, production, and safety go hand in hand, and that's kind of where automation come into our factory. We try to carry a high quality, as safe as possible, while meeting schedules. And I think everybody that I've heard speak so far have talked on those matters, and scheduling being a big part of that. So thank you all for having me here, and I'm happy to be here with Tecnar.
I want to talk a little bit about the projects you did.
Yeah. So these projects that are listed here, Oak Ridge National Laboratories, we do a lot of work there still to this day. That was a part of the Manhattan Project. A lot of cool stuff goes on there. Actually doing some uranium storage facilities right now. That's in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Walker polysilicate project we did in Charleston, Tennessee. We shipped over 40,000 pipe spools up there, all those being coated colorless stainless welds. Still keep guys on that job site to this day, but that's a very high quality product. It's 99.79% pure, and the entire construction team on that project was able to make that batch meet that quality standard on the first shot, which saved the end user millions of dollars. Austin Power, turbine building facility there. We still do work right there at that facility to this day. We also, Memorial Hospital, we do a lot of hospital and automotive work. So we play in a lot of industries right there, but those are four very successful projects.
Thanks. Myself, my name is Stamati Georgaris. I work for Tecnar, which is the manufacturer of the Rotoweld, which is the spool pipe welding robot. The company was founded in 1989 by François. He was the inventor of the 4D synergy welding process, and he bought the license from the National Research Center, where he developed it and started selling Rotowelds that were now selling for 35 years. Since then, François retired, and now his son, Alexandre Nadeau, is the CEO and owner of Tecnar, which is still a family-owned company. We have over 200 clients. A lot of them are in North America, but it's spread pretty much all over the world. And one thing very, very important for us is to have happy clients, and we're happy that in our last review, we reached a score of 4.8. So if our clients are using their Rotowelds to full potential, they are happy, they make money, and which makes us happy also, because it's easier for us to sell more machines. So it's a win-win situation. So we just moved in our new facility, and we're now producing and selling one machine every 2 weeks, and we're ramping up to one machine every week. So this conference, it's more going to be like a discussion with Darius, and I'm going to be asking questions to Darius, and I invite you to ask your question as we go. So if you have a question in mind, the answer is probably going to be good for other people in the room also. So feel free to ask as we go. So Darius, you bought your first Rotoweld in 2019. What triggered your need to automate, and what was the process when you finally decided to go forward with a solution?
So the main trigger was a competitor down the street had bought a machine. They shortly after come up, kind of showing off what that machine was able to do, and we realized we were trying to play catch up and not being proactive. And everybody, like I said, has discussed the meeting of schedules being difficult, but I haven't heard anybody touch along manpower. You know, every industry is struggling with manpower right now, and you got to take care of the guys what you got. You know, we're not running sweatshops these days. You know, these are high quality facilities with people we care about. And, you know, this picture that you have here, I'm gonna show it to the guys when I get back. Those guys still work for us. You know, still run these machines and take pride in these machines. So, you know, automation got us to the point where we was producing quality welds at a high production rate. And anybody that I ask, hey, what do you like the most about Roto in our shops? They say production. The production that they're able to turn out really boosts their morale. The morale all the way from pipe handling, cut, fit, prep, the whole 9 yards. The morale is very heavy, and a lot of that plays into the fact that the shops that do have roto welds are turning out a lot more weld inches per week than the other shops. So those guys, they're very proud of that machine. We're very proud of that machine, and it's leading the way through our production very rapidly.
Nice things. And did you have other automation equipment before that, or that was your first big machine?
That was. We did buy some fusion orbital welding for some certain projects, and we really pulled the trigger way too soon. We spent $500,000 on some equipment that did not play into our factor. We still have them, and they rarely get used, but it just wasn't what we was really looking for. We let a salesman sell that to us, and so we did have those, not a high success. So Roto was our first venture into automation that was successful.
Okay, nice. And what was your first impression when the machine came in your shop?
You know, first impression was how difficult is this going to be? You know, you think automation, you think you have to be a genius in order to do it. You think, you know, what if I have an issue? I don't have a programmer working for me. I have a welder working for me. If the machine goes down, I've got a heavy paperweight here. Luckily, that was totally the wrong thought process. And we learned from that really quick that the biggest scare to us was being scared of automation and being able to fix a problem if there were a problem.
Nice. And how did the certification process went? You know, was it easy to get your machine certified for your different projects?
It was. You know, ultimately that machine today, whenever we submit weld procedures to a client before the fabrication process, we submit just as we would with any other weld process. QC wise, you know, we treat it just as we do everything else. So not any hiccups on that behalf.
Okay, nice. And did you have to change a lot of things on your production floor in order to make your new production floor go correctly with the Rotoweld and everything?
Yeah. So right here, this photo was taken as our second roto was coming in. So you can see guys pulled over to it, and right there they're doing the alignment on it. That machine's not in production at the present time of this picture, but we did fully change our shops. We want the flow to be coming in one side with raw material, going back out the other side as finished products, So, we come in, we do our cut, we do our prep, we go into the fitting stations and the tag, and then into the rotos in this particular shop. Coming out of each end, once it comes out of that end, QC checks it out and it goes on to the next process, whether it be X-ray. We have X-ray bunkers on our site, so we're shooting welds all day while we're still in production, or whether it's going to hydro, or whether it's going to coating, or being placed onto a skid, or going to the job site, whatever it may be. We try to have a full flush system through our shop. We're not having raw material pass finished material is our main goal. So the adding of a second roto in this particular shop completely changed the layout in that shop.
Nice. And how long did it take you to feed the machine to its full potential?
Not long, and the reason being, as far as on this setup with the two, not long, because we had one. On the very first one, it took us a couple of weeks, to fully get it figured out, realize what it could do, and that we can move a lot faster than we'd originally thought. This machine in particular, as you can see, it's got two positioners on it. So if you've got pipe on the far end welding, then we're loading pipe on the second positioner. We're getting that pipe prepped, ready for weld. So as soon as it's done on positioner one, it transfers back to positioner two, and it begins its process. So with two sitting there, we've got two welders going at all times. We've got two that are getting loaded at all times. We got two spools coming off of it at all times. So there's never a dead zone. The good thing about the reason that we picked the layout that we have right here is because we can have two guys that are loading and unloading this machine, and they stay busy all day. The gentleman that's on that machine, getting the roto started, and roto has evolved tremendously since we bought these. We're looking to do an upgrade in our facility soon to match that, but that guy is going from one weld to the next, and it's as far as that welder runs down the track, sets up, and starts welding on the next one. It's a very quick turn process. It's consistent. The timing's consistent. The welds are consistent. The quality is consistent. And our people that are operating this machine, they're standing in a very comfortable position all day. Any of y'all come through the trade as welders or anything, you obviously you start in the most uncomfortable position and you're working your way up, and that's all fine and dandy when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s. Some of the people that we have working on this machine are older, one of which is 64, and we're happy to still be able to give Hayes Davis a job every day that he can come in and physically do at the age of 64 by operating this machine. We've also had guys that's all they've done all their career. They've been pipe welders, and you start seeing productivity changes, and you start seeing quality changes. And once you speak to them, that you start seeing that they're having bicep problems, or their eyes are going away, and they're using cheaters, and they just can't get there anymore. And that's all they know. You try them out as a fitter, and they're not a fitter. They've welded their whole career. Well, now we have a backup plan for those people that's took care of our company for their whole career, that's been in this career for 25 years. We don't just shuck them off. We can stick them on this machine. They can still be productive for us, still turning out quality welds, very high productive, consistent right here.
Nice. And usually when new clients ask me how much production they should expect from their Rotoweld, I tell them roughly 300-inch diameter per day and per shift actually. And the other day you mentioned to me your average production, and it's quite impressive. And can you share it with us? And also, can you share us how you keep your employees motivated to be so efficient, not only one day, but for weeks at a time, you know?
Yeah, so, we do run, 500, 600 weld inches, days, and the way that we're able to do that is a lot to do with our setup. Now, that varies, I talk to our people, and, depending on what pipe diameter that you're welding and all that, it changes, but we run production reports just as everybody that I've listened to today, how do you track productivity, and everybody is kind of in that same gloom, I go to the Pipe Fabrication Institute meetings, and everybody's in that same world of weld inches. So we also track via weld inches. Every spool is unique. You may have a spool in here that's a 40-inch that has one flange on the end, and that's it. You may have a piece of 2-inch stainless that's, a T to a T to a T to a T with 1-inch branches coming off that draws like crazy. So every spool's unique. So we track it via weld inch like many do. And we can pull our production reports each week. We separate hand welds to roto right off the bat because it's not even in a comparison zone. And then we compare the guys that are running rotos versus the guys that are running hand welds. But, we stay pretty consistent with our hand welding. We stay pretty consistent with our roto. And, roto has helped us in many ways get jobs. You got a few options whenever you got the potential to get a job. You can turn it away and say, hey, we're full of capacity, or you can take a job on and not meet schedule, and then, we all know where that leads to. But with having this option out here, we kind of know what we can turn out on that machine, and that's running it on a 410 schedule is normally what those run. And so we also know what we can do if we run it 7/12s, or if we run it 2 shifts. So turning the job away is not our first avenue. Our first avenue is what can we do to ramp up. And we've got high quality machines that are consistent, that we can take a job on a tight schedule.
Nice. And fitting is often a concern from new clients. So how was your experience with that? Did you have to change a lot of your habits? And if yes, was it hard to get it accepted by your crew?
Well, anybody that's in the pipe fabrication industry, they know that the hardest thing to ever do is for a fitter to satisfy a welder. I don't know that that's going to happen. But the good thing about roto is every welder is unique, just like every spool. You may want a larger gap than I do, so on and so forth. Roto per size is consistent. So, depending upon what size we're welding on, the guys know what the fit up needs to look like. They're not worried about my particular likings or your particular likings. It's the same fit up across the board. And coming through our shops, high, low, and things like that, there's a standard that we operate off of anyways. We're not looking to cut corners on quality. So as far as a good fit up's a good fit up, a consistent fit up's a consistent fit up. So buy-in was not bad. Our fitters argue more with hand welders than anything. A hand welder is talking about that fitter and the fit up that they got, and then the fitter saying, well, he fired up on it, he owns it. He took that weld, he said, I'll take that weld, he started on it, and that's his weld. That's where we have issues with fit ups. As far as fit ups that are going on the roto, everybody knows what they need to be. Operator looks at it, buys off on it, says, hey, that's consistent with what we've been doing, and it's ready to run.
Nice. And when did you buy the second Rotoweld, and what triggered that decision? Was it only production or?
The second roto come through an acquisition of another company. The acquisition of the other company was triggered by, they had a roto, they had a Wax Mueller. They were 5 minutes down the street, and there was a company 5 minutes up the street that was looking to buy them for the same equipment. And so Limbach decided to make a $10 million investment to keep those out of the hands of the competitors, which worked out great for us because now we got two sitting side by side, and we got a Wax Mueller profiler sitting up there. So it was great for us. And I would say the two machines set side by side, you would think ultimately that doubled productivity, but on a cost standard, I think it did better than that, because the same two guys that would be loading or unloading or running that machine at all times, they're doing two now, and they're always busy. There's always a heavy flow going on there. I think it really did better than double.
Oh, nice. And are you using the two machines exactly the same way, or you have different processes or setups?
No, they're running the exact same way.
Okay.
As far as right now, nothing has changed. This week in particular, we're running a lot on the roto that do not have to shoot, that are going to X-ray. We're just doing a study test on quality, but to make sure we're still holding our standard, our people, and doing a timing test. Sometimes when you get into the production of the machine and different sizes change and things, so right now we're going through and we're spending a little bit more time, but spending that time gives us the database to be able to stand back and say exactly how long it's going to take us to produce something. We want to catch it on the front end. You know, if we take on a project and it does have a tight schedule like many people spoke about, we don't want to be scared of it. We don't want to know right up front that, hey, we need to run this machine 7 days a week and not 4 days a week until we're a month away from the deadline. And now we have no way to catch up besides throwing people at it. So.
Cool. And since then, have you experienced other welding robots, even, not just piping, but whatever you guys weld? Do you have you tested other robots or?
No, we have not tested any other brands. Our people are very comfortable with this machine. We're comfortable with this machine. You ride a certain horse and that horse does you well. We kind of stick with what we know. And it's worked out good for us. We do got a Wax pipe profiler that we acquired as well. We're getting that set up, and we're excited about that. But that does lead down another road, and people have to get comfortable with the machine like they did this, and I'm certain that we're going to learn that it's just as easy as roto was. You guys have a service guy that works for y'all named Christian, and our people, we will not even know that we had a problem at the roto because they call Christian and the problem is solved before you even know it, because the tech support is so great. I think that's, besides having a good durable product, is the support is just a phone call away. You're not calling somebody to get put on an automated line to be shuffled down the street. The people that run our shops, they're very intelligent, but they're not computer gurus or programmers and so on and so forth. And for our guys to be able to run this machine all the time and keep it up and going, that tells the tale that anybody can do it. And a lot of that, I say, goes into y'all's support.
Yeah, thanks. And what are the main key trends? What are the most positive things on the Rotoweld? And also, what would be the weakest thing that you want us to work on?
Productivity. Productivity is by far the most positive thing. It's consistent, it's productive, and it's got a high quality. We're not going back making repairs behind it. So those are the top notch. That's what everybody's looking for in this industry.
No weakness.
Weaknesses, a lot of the weaknesses were caused by our team. They're self-inflicted. We leave doors open into the shops, and we got air that comes across the machine, or a crane parked in the middle of the crane bay. We got air coming in, or every time we have a client come through, they go back there and they want to look at it, and so does the employees. It's like the bug looking at the light, effect. And even our employees that are back there all the time, they'll find themselves looking at it. So, we did get busted by safety by not having welding curtains, and that was an easy fix. Like I say, most of this has been self-inflicted. We didn't keep spare fuses. One time, we had some fuses pop, and the machine went down. And luckily, we realized we'd acquired another machine right down the street. So we went down there and robbed some fuses, made our new sisters mad, but we just realized what we needed to keep on spares. So, it's self-inflicted. I think you guys are doing it spot on.
Cool. And any recommendation to your peers that want to automate?
It's a lot easier, than what you would think. My personal opinion, I feel like the people that are not in automation are not in automation because they're scared of it. They think that it requires more than what it does. And they are the geniuses that are out there that are writing these programs and changing these programs and sending it to you and things. You do not have to worry about that. The setup on these machines right here in particular are super easy. We moved these machines and set them back up in just a few days, it's a lot easier to get started in automation than what you would ever think.
So I had a few slides that I wanted to show you to talk a little bit about things to be careful when you select automated robot. I think we're gonna miss some time. Maybe I'm just gonna jump right away to. So you guys all know that if you're welding spools will never be perfect, and every joint's gonna be a little bit different. Be sure you don't make the mistake of buying a machine that only does fixed parameters welding. The machine needs to be able to adapt. Because every joint's going to be different, and in the joint there's going to be parts where the gap is going to be large and parts where the gap is going to be smaller. So make sure you buy a machine that can adapt to those changes. And you're lucky, there's 3 machine manufacturers at this show that understood that and have good machines for that. But be careful not to spend money on something that won't be useful after that. And you're free to come to our booth 56 to discuss more about how we dealt with that. We have what we call PerfectPass, which does automatic welding. And here you have a picture of one of our new clients that was so excited that the machine was welding completely by itself that he wanted to take a picture with a cigar. So come to see us to see how our machine operates. And if you have a few questions, it's time to ask them. Yeah.
What would you assign for the amount of bidders to support that machine?
One machine's about 4 fitters. And that all goes back to size too, because size is time. But if you're living in the 10 to 14 inch range, you're going to keep about 4 fitters rolling at all times in order to feed one machine.
I assume that it only does roll weld, not posi welds.
So it does, Roto has a slip-on flange, application. We do not presently have that. Unfortunately, we are looking to do an upgrade, but, yeah, it's a one position.
So do you use special software to figure out how to break up your spool so that you maximize the number of roll welds?
We do. Coming through our CAD department, we do place our spools, you know, as far as position welds, to maximize roto welds.
Which software do you use?
We use, what is, spool gym. Sorry. Yeah, spool gym.
Okay, do we have any other quick questions for Stamati and Darius? Everybody good? Okay, well, great. If everybody could give Stamati and Darius a big hand.
Thanks.